Alarick's room smells like him, and the shower is still running. I only mean to drop off his books, until a fallen sketchbook opens to my face, again and again. He steps out half-dressed, catches me staring, and the secret between us becomes impossible to hide. I walked into Alarick's room hesitantly and stood still, staring with my mouth hanging open. As much as I tried to tell myself to give up, there's no hope. He's straight and in love with my best friend. I couldn't help but hold my chest as my heart sped up its beating. The room was instantly covered in Alarick's intoxicating scent. The bathroom door was cracked as well, and I could hear the sounds of the shower running. I strolled over to the bed and slammed his books down onto it, making his pillow fall off the bed and exposing a black book. Carefully I picked it up. I noticed now that I was holding it that it was a sketchbook, and that next to it on the bed was a small box of pencils. I sat down on the corner of his bed and opened the first page. I turned the page, gasping. It was a picture of me. I felt the blood rise to my face as I stared at a drawing of myself. Why was there a picture of me in here? I flipped the next page. It was a picture of me and Adaline together. The next few pages were all just of me throughout the next 3 years of high school. The last page that had a drawing made my breath stop. It was me, wearing my tux at Tate's birthday party 2 days ago. I heard a gasp and I looked up, seeing Alarick standing there staring at me. He was half naked, wearing sweatpants that hung low on his hip bones, making me gulp hard as I stared at his bare chest and his muscular body. I stood up fast, dropping the sketchbook, making pictures fall out of the back. I flushed, bending down to pick them up. "No!" he yelled out, diving for the pictures. It was too late. I saw them. There were about 5 and they were all of me. I looked up at him, anger and embarrassment flooding my cheeks. He was standing there staring down at the floor, his face flaming red, offsetting against his silver hair and dark blue eyes. I stood up, noticing distantly that we are so close to each other that if he looked up at me his nose would brush against my lips. I backed up a few centimeters and shoved his pictures and his sketchbook into his hands. Still, he stared down at his feet, making me even angrier. "What is all of this?" I yelled at him. He shrugged, looking strangely relieved and also hopeless at the same time. "Obviously it's what you think it is," he whispered confusingly. He went to back away and I grabbed his upper arms, trying to keep him still. I'll repeat my question more carefully. "Why do you have all of this about me, when you were acting like you had feelings for Adaline earlier today?" I explained lamely. I watched as he looked off to the side, a frown on his face. Finally, it snapped into his head and he smiled brightly at me. I let go of his arms and stepped back, only to gasp as he dropped his sketchbook onto the ground and grabbed my arms, pushing me backward onto the bed. A sly smile crept onto his face, contrasting adorably with his blush. He was holding onto my arms and holding his body weight as he stood bent over me while I laid back on his bed. "Are you, possibly jealous?" he asked, a hint of teasing mixed in with unmistaken hope. I felt my breath catch in my throat. "What are you talking about?" I whispered. He leaned down so his face was just inches from mine. "I reacted the way I did this morning because I was surprised to see you there. I wasn't looking at Adaline like that. I was looking at you. You were standing directly behind her after all. And I was nice to Adaline because she's your best friend. And I wouldn't want to anger you. You haven't freaking noticed anything since middle school. I'm always near you. I'm always where you are. I'm always looking at you. When are you going to notice me?" He started talking slowly and calmly, but as he kept talking he started to get heated, and the last bit he ended up yelling at me. "What are you talking about? I never see you looking at me. You always have girlfriends," I started. He interrupted me with a grunt. "And I overheard you tell Gamma Kurt and Alpha Tate you weren't gay the other morning when Gamma Kurt was teasing you about it." I yelled in confusion at him. He added, leaning down his head so his forehead was resting against mine. Finally, he opened his eyes, staring at me straight in the eyes. "You know the rumors about my parents. I had to have girlfriends to keep them happy. I'm sure you heard the rumors about me." I've never even kissed a girl, let alone anything else. I've never kissed anyone before. I thought I was broken. But then I thought maybe I'd be fine if I found my mate. Then I looked up and I saw you sitting by that window and the wind blowing your hair, and my heart stopped. I gasped, feeling tears forming in my eyes. Before I knew it, I was drawing your picture in my sketchbook. From then on, every time I felt the familiar feeling from my heart, I would draw you. It was always you. Just you. I was always looking at you. I heard that you were gay, and that scared me more than anything. Did that mean I was gay? Was this feeling I felt for you love? It took me so long to come to accept it. Then this opportunity came up with Adaline, and I knew I could get closer to you with it. I was planning on giving her stupid errands to move my furniture or something, so you'd have to help her. But I don't know what to do. I can't feel like this. I can't have this. Mother and father, Alpha Titus, no one will accept it. A tear fell from my eye, making him let go of my arm and brush it with his fingertip, trailing his finger down my cheek and leaving a fire where he touched. I looked at him, staring deeply into his eyes. I never had anyone, because I was always looking at you too. Since the beginning. And you're wrong. There is someone who would accept it. The only person whose opinion should matter anyway. Alfie Tate. I felt his breath catch as he stared down at me, frozen. Before I could think, he was closing his eyes and leaning into me. I closed my eyes, feeling his lips press down onto mine. It was enough to make me gasp, and he took full advantage of it by kissing me harder. For all of our inexperience, it was better than I ever imagined it would be. Suddenly I felt his body freeze, then he jumped off of me. He was flustered, his face heated up as he backed against the wall. I noticed it a moment after he did, the smell of Kurt's scent. I jumped up and grabbed his fallen sketchbook, hiding it under his pillow once more, and straightened my clothes. I turned towards the door in time to watch it open. Alarick's eyes widened as he hid in between the door and the wall. Kurt looked at me in surprise. "What are you doing here? Where's my brother?" He barked at me. "He's not here, Gamma Kurt," I said with a nod of respect towards him. He asked me to bring these books to him, so I did. The door was open and I was just placing them on his bed. "Would you let him know they are here when you see him?" I asked him quietly as I quickly walked towards the door. I placed my hand on the frame, flinching when Alarick reached forward and touched my finger with the tip of his own, hidden from his brother's view. "Yes, of course. Thank you for helping him out." I nodded my head in respect as Kurt backed up, making room for me to follow him. I paused, wanting to stay with Alarick, but I knew I couldn't. I sighed, letting go of the door and grabbing the handle, letting it pull the door shut behind me as I stepped into the hall.